you ask me, I say Bullpen having one of his best years ever. Some might even say it's currently the #1 league right now. With that said, I guess it's safe to say once you hit this stage, you have reached the pinnacle. August 17th, All Battle Rap Network and Bullpen Battle League presents The Pinnacle, featuring the highly anticipated matchup.
Run, move with his motherfucking feet.
Fugitive right now, man. Ain't got no business. I ain't no fugitive. We talking about a different run now.
I'm on a run too.
Bad News versus Fonz.
We can run it right now.
Also on the card,
which is crazy. Facts. Now, do you have any last statements?
Loso versus Rosenberg Raw.
I mean, you tossed your cap like Bobby Smurda. Is you willing to take 7 for the team?
That's where it is.
Chef Trez versus Reggie P.
4-5 with a ball head when they got my own. I'm talking Crystal Man, big time. I mean, you gotta use the tub for the mixing. So I took a whipping in the bathroom. Like 6'9".
Clone versus Super Black. Streaming live on All Battle Rap Network. Visit allbattlerapnetwork.com for tickets and pay-per-view. Looking for some real battle rap energy? No drama, just bars? Bullpen got you. Like always, The Pinnacle. August 17th. Do not miss out. Bullpen over bullshit.
Hey. So I just wanted to say this real quick about the Pinnacle. If you are looking for pay-per-view, it's not available at the moment. This is the last statement that John the Don stated about how to get on the platform or PPV and what have you. So as of right now, it's not available. They may update this tomorrow. And they said if it's not available for PPV, it will definitely be available for VOD options. Okay. So at allrapgrid.com. So check into that. And also just if you don't have your notification for the bullpen where they can give you regular updates, you should do that on Twitter. That's where you find all the recent information about that. So again, hello everyone. I hope everybody is doing great. I'm trying to maneuver several things at the same time. I hope everyone is doing great though. So today we got a couple of things to get into. First off, we are going to discuss, what we're going to get into is about what was going on between Easy and Rosenberg Raw, and then it just spilled over to other people. I'm not giving specifics on anything. I'm just going to talk about the roundabout discussion and about business, discussing business in the outside about what's going on behind the scene, everything we don't need to know. But before we do that, let's also cover the next battle that's supposed to be happening in, what is it, a week or 2 weeks? And this is for Massacre 6. Courtesy of KOTD. And this is a 2-day event. So they have Saturday and they have Sunday. And Saturday, it looks like the big names are going to be for Geechee Gotti and Marv One. I think they're going to close out Saturday. But we also have T Rex and Chilla Jones, Pass, the New Jersey Twerk, Sharon, 40 Bars, the Saurus and A Ward, Real Deal and Mike P. I haven't seen Mike P out in a minute. Excel and Chef Trez, E. Pharrell and Pep, Stretch and GK. And then on Sunday, day 2, we have the other main event, which is Big K and Tay Rock. But before that, it's Frack and John the Don. Now, mind you, John the Don just put on a stellar performance off the trenches, right? Where he filled in for Averb to battle Sirius Jones. And if you have not had a chance to check out that battle, I strongly suggest you do on guttercity.com. They still have VODs available. That whole card was fire. There is not a moment of disappointment. In my opinion, it was a great card. The only part I didn't like, of course, was Ill Will. You expected a little more from Ill Will. However, if you do go back and listen, Ill Will is rapping. He just, of course, by now you already know he choked, but that wouldn't have changed a thing about what Easy did. Easy was on a whole nother level. Whether you was going to catch that flight or not, he was going to the moon and he went there. Okay. So when you have a chance, check out Gutter City. They just had their Trenches anniversary. That's a very good card. So John is now doubling back here on KOTD, and he has to go against Frack. Okay, so we see how it goes here. And we have Real Sick and Charlie Clips, which I'm hoping to be a very, very good battle, because Real Sick has been doing some things here. I'm waiting. I actually would love to see Real Sick on Chrome or on the Trenches, things like that. Maybe Battle Academy. I don't know if he's been on there before already, but I want to see him, hit them trenches, especially. Again, he's going against Charlie Clips, which that should be a good battle. Then we have Yoshi G and Chirac. I think that's the only women on the card also. And then of course we have the bar guy Danny Myers against Elijah Straight. Clone versus Death the Kid, which Clone is already going to be part of the Pinnacle card, which is this week. Then we have Emerson Kennedy versus City Towers. Now, Emerson Kennedy just had a full circle event with Ill Will like last week. Well, the week before, because we just had the Trenches. So it was the week before the Trenches. So there's some overlapping around here right now. And then also starting off the card is going to be Lefty and Tusabe. So a full weekend jam-packed card that you'll be seeing from KOTD Massacre 6. Check out the details with them as far as what time the event will start. But the PPV and tickets, you can go to KOTDTV.com. Order now. This is a big event here. I think this is worth every penny. So go get your pay-per-view if you're not going to be there live. This is not in Canada, if I'm not mistaken. This is in Boston. So that right there is a treat for those of us that stateside and may not be able to travel across the border. They right there in Boston. Drive on up to Boston and have a ball. Okay. Now, I am going to stop sharing that for a second, because there's also something else I would love you to see. And that is for another thing that dropped really cool today, which if you are not a member, this is going to be a treat for you. And that is this next card that we are going to be talking about that dropped today. The Arsenal Rosenberg Raw card full circle dropped today on RBE. So if you are not a member, which I would say you want to be a member, because he drops battles early. ARP, he drops battles on that channel early for members. And so if you're not a member, you have to wait a little bit more, but he usually drops like a week, maybe even 2 weeks early, it depends. But this is a good treat. We're going to do a full reaction on our blog later or tomorrow sometime. It was a pretty interesting battle here. It's not a long battle, okay? It's about 15 minutes, maybe a little less than 15 minutes. They get their bars off and we'll break it down. I'm not going to tell you exactly who the winner is. I will say round one, and I'm going to look at round one again. Can be probably kind of debatable. I got to look at that again, but the shit on here. So I think you'll. This is a good battle. This is a pretty good battle. Just keep your interest. Sweet 15 minutes tops, which is really good. So check them out as well. Okay, so we have a lot to talk about today, and what I want to talk about is about business. Meaning, is it our business? And I want to pull this up again so we can really see, is it our business to know every intricacies or details about deals being made behind the scenes with battle rappers and leagues, to the point to where it spills out and things are supposed to be said or not supposed to be said. Okay. The reason what made me think about this, what made me talk about this, is because, of course, yesterday that's where a whole lot of stuff popped off between Rosenberg Raw and Easy the Black Captain. Now, I'm not going to get into specifics. I just want to say that sometimes when you're proving a point or you're trying to prove a point, everything doesn't need to be discussed how that point was supposed to be proven. For instance, Rosenberg Raw was taking some shots. If you was to look at it from the outside looking in, you'd be wondering, why does Rosenberg Raw keep taking shots at Easy? Easy just had a successful event, and it's like, be damned, that successful event. There's some things that needs to be discussed, but he kept shooting at Easy, and for a lot of us, we didn't understand what was going on. Well, then there was a back and forth that ensued, and then somehow Rosenberg Raw, he did a blog, because Easy went on Spaces to respond to Rosenberg Raw about his comments about Easy, because he didn't get booked for the Trenches anniversary card. So Easy came up to try to explain all that situation. Also, he did say something about Swamp as well, and Swamp felt kind of slighted. I think sometimes Easy doesn't hear himself speak at times, or maybe he feels that everything he's saying within battle rap is just battle rap bullshit talking, right? Which, if you shit talking, you shit talking. But certain times and certain things that you say may come across different for the listener, especially when you have somebody you're talking about, they're listening to what you're saying about them. So for Swamp's part, it's the way I'm assuming that Swamp was taking it, like, it's almost like, even though Easy didn't say it, but it was almost like, well, why the fuck y'all gonna have me battle Swamp? Like, what caliber is he in? Like, he's not in my caliber. Why are you? It's almost like you're insulting me about why I'm not battling him. You know why I'm better than him. Which, of course, all battlers say that they're better than the next battler, but I think it's the tone that made Swamp like, well, damn, wait a minute. Now, damn, I'm not going to shit on your accomplishments, but bruh, relax. Damn. I mean, does Easy have some room to talk a little bit? Yeah, he's patterned his career off of some of the God tier and top tier battle rappers, so he can speak a little bit, but I think it's just the way he's saying certain things. So anyway, I'm assuming him and Swamp got that all worked out. I didn't stay on the Spaces long. We try our best to be the cheerleader for battle rap as a whole. That's why you don't see a whole lot of BS on our pages and everything. I'm not trying to keep up with the gossip because a lot of this stuff is just is plain point blank is dumb shit, right? And I don't have time for the dumb shit. If I don't have time for dumb shit in my life, I sure as hell don't have time for your dumb shit. So we may post a little bit of this and that, and then we just keep it moving just to give people a roundabout of what happened. So there was so much shit that was going on between Easy and Rosenberg Raw that Easy decided to do a live early this morning. Yes, he did, y'all, at 7:30 in the morning. You will not be able to see it because Rosenberg Raw and Easy also, both of them took their blogs down, not in membership. From when I checked, everything was down. Nothing's in membership. But it was the thing of when Easy was explaining himself, he was also spilling other business that had nothing to do with how he needed to explain the business to Rosenberg Raw. So apparently Rosenberg Raw was supposed to be on the church's anniversary. Unfortunately, he didn't get on there. And I don't know if it's due to the fact, if it's all due to the fact that something wasn't lined up correctly or could not happen for his match to happen. That's what it seems like. But when Easy was trying to explain himself about what happened, which from a business standpoint, I understood what he was saying. Like, look, sometimes shit don't work out the way it's supposed to work out. I know I promised this to you, but other things has happened. So when Easy was explaining his story, he started mentioning, like, him and Cortez was talking and the business relationship they was trying to do, but something fell through. And so Cortez wasn't able to get on the card. And I guess it was spilled over to what Jazz and Miss Fit, who I would love to see come back outside. Really need to see her come back outside, but Jazz and Miss Fit must have supposed to have something going on Chrome. Now, all of this information not only is spilling out on Easy. He didn't mention the Chrome part, and he really wasn't trying to mention Jazz's name, but he did mention Cortez and Miss Fit. So Cortez I guess he didn't see anything until today. And when he saw that shit today, by right, because he seen it on another blog, and he was trying to figure out, well, what the hell was going on? So of course he hits up Easy on Twitter, and they talk back and forth on Twitter and all this and that, and business started being discussed as to what happened behind the scenes. I hate that. I think as Black people, especially, I know that some of the things we do is like our first generation, the first time we're doing business, but as a person who does have a business, the one thing you don't do is discuss nothing business like on Twitter, especially when all of you are talking and you can just pick up the damn phone. The time it takes for you to pick up your phone, look at the damn text, is faster to go ahead and dial phone and call the person, and y'all on FaceTime cussing each other out. It'd be a lot easier, and it doesn't have to get on down Twitter. You're letting us see everything, and that's not good business. That's not good business. That is horrible. You don't want to see that. We don't want to see that, man. I think that people really need to understand that when certain things is a business, that's what you want to stick to. And everything that fans, because a lot of them have to be like that, right? And you have to, I don't want to say that you shouldn't communicate how you feel. Like I said, as about doing it. That's the part. It's the way you go about doing it. And unfortunately, when you're trying to explain certain things,
business we've chosen.
The way of explaining it without showing or telling every other card, just because you're trying to explain this particular card. So the fact that Rosenberg Raw was not able to get on the Trenches anniversary, the fact that he had an attitude about it, apparently, this is what I'm getting from it. He had a serious attitude about it, and he wanted to be part of it, which was a great card, by the way. And Easy was trying to explain himself. But in him explaining himself, and it's not bad to explain yourself, because as a business owner, you want to have some type of transparency, right? So you want to say, hey, okay, this is what happened. Yeah, you're supposed to be on a card, but you don't have to go into the other part of the detail that wasn't making that has nothing to do with them. Even if it did have something to do with them, he didn't need to know that part. He didn't need to know, well, I got in contact with Cortez and this happened and that and this happened and this and that. Fuck all that. Look, it didn't happen. Okay. I'm gonna try to get you on the next card, in which Easy did say that. Hey, I'm gonna try to get you on the next card. Okay. But I unfortunate, and Rosenberg Raw wasn't the only card that didn't happen, or only battle that didn't happen on card. It was another battle that was supposed to happen as well with Mike P and someone else. I forgot who the other person was. Forgive me for forgetting your name, but that battle is also going into the next card, which is crazy, because when you think about that card, I think Easy had about 8 battles as is. That's a lot of battles. 2 of them, from my understanding, 2, maybe 3. I don't want to say it wrong, but I do believe at least 2 sponsored by Gerald McCoy. So if the investor is coming into play, which is part of this business that we need to talk about as well, they're going to have full reign on that card anyway, because they're paying for their battles, and whomever Easy had on there, he pushing them asses out. Hey, I'm gonna see y'all on the next card. This card getting kind of high, and the price points ain't gonna match up the way it needs to. Okay, I'm gonna see you on the next one. I'm totally sorry about not being able to put you on, but you will definitely. I'm gonna fit you in the best I can. And it's almost a good problem to have for business, because you are getting to be at a point of a lack of better word, supply and demand. Easy is when these battles be dropping, the people may not want to say it for truth, but when these battles drop on YouTube and they see how fire that card is, and of course Trenches ain't the only one, but there's been an increased demand for people wanting to get on the trenches. Y'all can look, you can hate the dude all you want, I don't care, but I deal in facts. That's all I deal in is facts. And this man, that Trenches card, especially this past anniversary when he had some really fire talent on there, and I'm just talking about the undercard. That Trenches card was good, and you could see people wanting to reach out. So I'm going over there next. I'm going over there next, and that's cool. I like when the battle rappers do that, because they are really supporting each other. I will say Easy said something that kind of struck me different a little bit when he said something about Rosenberg Raw, and that his last battle over there when they were in Miami, when they did the Trenches Chrome weekend, which was really dope, that Rosenberg Raw battle being on the card, and I want to make sure I'm saying it right, that the Rosenberg Raw being on the card, it wouldn't have changed something, right? It wouldn't have done anything if he was on that card or not, or it didn't push anything on the back end as far as what he could see with the numbers. Now, I will say this, as a fan that did watch that card on the day of the Trenches and on the day of Chrome, I will say this as a fan, Easy, we were looking at your card with a side eye for 2 reasons, and 2 reasons only: clean paper and clips. Now, outside of your undercard, which was fire, that Av, and I've seen a lot of people that were on the other media spaces talking about the same thing, that Av and Rosenberg Raw battle did push people, was interested in buying, because we didn't know what kind of clips we was going to get, which is a damn shame. We didn't know, and we didn't think Clean was going to show up. So that's another part of the business I want to talk about too. So I'm gonna tell you, outside of the undercard, which was stacked and nice, everybody, they showed up and showed out on that card. That Av and Rosenberg Raw card, we was looking for that. And I forgot you also had I think you had women on that card too. Now I can't even remember. It's such a blur now. It happened so fast, but we were looking for that. We was like, we didn't, because we couldn't count on the 2 people that has a history. Now, let's talk about that. Let's talk about why do y'all put these people that has a history of doing shit that can undermine your card. There's several people that are considered choke artists. There's people who will look at a card, and I'm not one to encourage bootlegging or what have you, but if you don't really want, and there's always going to be bootlegging, but let's be clear on some things. Some of these cards have some of these people that will diminish the value of your card. If you love your money and your business and your return, like you say you do, like you want your ROI, quit putting these people that will diminish your card. Like if you have people, and I'm not trying to pick on Clean Paper, but if he has a history of not showing up, and I get it, what you're saying, like, well, he's never done that to me and things like that. And I get that, but I don't understand why league owners never pay attention to patterns. If this person has a pattern of doing this to other leagues, I don't care if it's a league that you can't stand and hope all hell happens to them. That particular person still has a pattern. And if you're not going to put in the contract, like, look, I'm gonna give you like $100, and I need to see some verification that you are coming some type of way, and then I'll book the plane ticket. As a matter of fact, they will have to be a day early. They are not going to be coming in that same day of. Ain't no missing. If you trying to miss traffic, that's 25% off. If you, just like with promoting, now promoting it, and we talked about that in the previous blog about certain names, their name is the promo, right? Themselves. But all of these battlers now act like they don't need a promo, and you do. Who do you want to buy? Who you want us to like? You're not like Marshalls or Target, where you're just there and people's just gonna come around and go in your store anyway. You're a brand new, until you have an established name, battle belt under you, you got to get your name out there. You still got to work, and that's part of quote unquote business. Okay. This is the business that we're in. I'm not saying that you need to spend a whole lot of money on your personal promo, but the league should be promoting. The head of the league should be out there doing interviews about their card and why everybody should want to come to their card. Also the battlers. The battlers should be out there, whether it's virtual or meeting or what have you. They need to be out there. All this, I'm not going to say nothing until the day of the face-off, if your ass even show up in the face-off, which I kind of got a thing for that, the face-off. If you don't have a face-off, have a storyline, like in boxing, right? And I know I'm just talking, rambling, like there has not been not one bit of a punctuation period to stop. Sorry about that. But I do this from time to time when I start talking. I don't understand why battle rap don't do what boxing does. Like when the two people is about to fight, whether it's the main event or the undercard, you see the little storyline, like so and so and such and such. Boxer A, I came from so and so and this and that, and I'm going to beat so and so's ass, and that's how it's going to be, and what blah blah blah. And boxer B is like, yeah, this is my final competition. I'm gonna whoop his ass. He's the only one that's stopping me from getting to the next level of the belt. Bop bop bop. You could do that. You can have them record that on their phone talking shit, and you just could put that up there. You know what I mean? I also like what Uncle Rod does when he does his version of verses for battle rappers, where you can see the battle rappers have their best rounds, so they actually see who they really, because people forget. I think battlers forget how nice the opponent is until they look like, oh yeah, this helps me study a little more what I got to do. So I think that what Uncle Rod is doing is really good as well. But again, all of that is in business. But the reason why I wanted to do this blog is because I hated seeing business being discussed on the Twitter line that didn't need to be said, didn't need to be seen, didn't need to be heard, didn't need to be recorded, and nothing. But you can't get mad at the bloggers for recording it because you're putting the business out there. Stop putting your business out. If you can't explain why, because it's attached another part that might expose something else, good, bad, or indifferent, or that doesn't need to be known by now, then don't say shit about that part. Just say, hey, I couldn't put you on the car. That's how it went. I told you what happened. You didn't like it, so you start trying to expose me. And that's another part of business we need to talk about too. When battlers don't get their way, then they want to start exposing the league. Now, if the league is doing something underhanded, by all means, expose it, because they're doing something underhanded to one, then they're doing something underhanded to all. Somebody's just too scared to say it. The reason why leagues can usually get away with doing certain things underhand, and I'm not saying all leagues, but certain leagues that we've heard about, and they do it to certain people, is because a lot of hand on the league's hand to feed them. They don't use their own hand. They have somebody else's hand that they depend on to feed them. And that's the worst thing you can ever do, is depend on somebody else's hand to feed you. Whether you're a man, woman, that's bad. Okay? When you have to depend on someone else to feed you, then they can list out the portions as they choose. They can give you a little bit, or they can give you a lot of bit, because they're going off of the conditions that you need the money, the way you need it. They're always going to lowball you anyway. That's what the league is going to do. But how bad do you need this money though? Are you going to lowball yourself to where you know that your performance is at a $8,000 level, but because you need the money and this is the only job you got, and like rent due, and so you'll take the 3,000 just cause shit, okay, I'll just make it up on the back end, or we'll give you 3,000 now, and if you do 2 more battles, we'll give you the rest as you do the other battles. Shit like that. Keep you a job until you're able to stand alone in the battle rap. That means you build your name up. That means you build your credibility up as a battler. Keep you a job. What's a good example of that? You see all these people now, well, back then, right before COVID and everything, everybody had a t-shirt company. Everybody had a t-shirt company. Everybody was like, quit your job and be a boss. Yeah, be a boss. Just quit and be a boss. And most of the people, as I look at my timeline, whether it's Twitter or Instagram, most of the people came on there and said, hey, y'all, I had to go get me another job because I couldn't sustain the way I was living. I mean, it was great and all, but, just for some stability, I needed to get another job and started working. So I went back to work, y'all. It's okay. You can do it too. Now, mind you, they were the first ones that told everybody to quit. If you're not a boss, because they took that damn Damon Dash mantra and ran with it. If you're not a boss, I never worked for nobody. If you wasn't in the position where you had to work for somebody, that's okay. But if you're doing stuff like consulting, battle rap, things that has an ebb and flow to it, you always want to keep it steady until you're able to utilize your passion as your money maker. Until then, keep working. If you hate the job that you're at, you better find you another job, and you better eat and pay your bills. And that's just it. Because you can't pay bills off of a passion that don't bring no money in. So that's one thing I would tell these battle rappers as part of business: keep a job. Get you as a flexible job as possible. Get you something like an Uber, Lyft, or what have you. If you can't do that, whatever that's flexible to what you're trying to do it. Sometimes you may have to work and then write later and pay attention to what battles you could possibly take and things like that. But if you really care about yourself and your business, you would never depend on another grown-ass man or woman's hand to feed you. And that's true talk. Excuse me, I had to drink some water here. So that's another part of business. But just to circle back with Easy and Rosenberg Raw, I really hated that all this shit came out, because it's none of our damn business. It's none of our business. And it should have never went this far. It should have stayed. It should have been a phone call. Eventually a phone call was made for both of those men. They decided to get on the phone and talk and everything, and that was great. But all the damage was done because then Cortez got involved, Miss Fit got involved, Jazz got involved, and rightly so, because they're hearing all of the shit after the fact. So now they're trying to figure out what the hell is going on. And that's because when you are discussing business, you don't say all the tangibles that's not anyone else's business. That's all I have to say about that. I hope you guys have a wonderful day. Of course, we're going to run our ad for CIMC. Y'all get ready now because they're about to close their enrollment soon. I don't know how soon. It may run all the way through October. But if you are interested in becoming a medical coder, this is the people that you want to talk to about that. They are a coding medical coding course that teaches you how to code and prep you to get ready for your exam through the AAPC. They are instructors, they know what they're doing, they are very good. So I am going to run their ad, and this is CIMC, which is Chester Interactive Medical Coding. And with that, I bid you adieu. Don't forget, we look out for our post on the recently dropped Full Circle for Rosenberg, Raw, and Arsenal. And also get on your notifications for us. And if you want to see those other battles through RBE, get on their page at RBE, and you'll see some more dropping. If you want to become a member, you get the battles early. Okay, y'all have a wonderful day. See you later.